I have tested over 1,000 ads for churches, and here are the top 10 that actually work to get your church new guests. Hi, my name is Brady Sticker, and me and my team at ChurchCandy have worked with over 1,000 churches, and we are on a mission to connect 1 million people to a local church. If you are someone that's passionate about wanting to see God grow your church, be sure to like this video and subscribe because I'm making new videos like this all the time. Now, here are the top 10 ads that we have seen get the best results whenever it comes to getting new guests into the church's doors. I'm going to be dividing this top 10 list into category, and I think number 7 is my favorite. It is something that I told my team last month, that we need to drop everything and make sure that every single church that we're running ads for is running this ad. The first category is the platform. Now, we have seen that the best platform by far that turns online views into butts and pews is Meta. We have seen Instagram and Facebook ads dramatically outperform the other social media platforms. Now, whenever we're running ads on Facebook and Instagram, we have found that the best results come from instant form ads. This is where, instead of just boosting a post and hoping that someone shows up to your church, you are strategically getting them to take a next step in the ad itself. It's really cool because what it does is whenever someone clicks on the actual ad itself, there will be a form that pops up asking them for things like their name, their email, their phone number, and then you can use that info to follow up with them and get connected. The problem that I see a lot of churches make is they will run ads and just send people to their website. Well, what ends up happening is, number one, you're taking people off of Facebook and Instagram's platform, and we have seen that you get more bang for your buck whenever you keep people on their platform. There was a documentary that came out a few years ago on Netflix called The Social Dilemma. I highly encourage you to go watch it because that documentary reveals that whenever you are on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, when you're on these social media platforms, their number one goal is to keep you on the platform longer, because the longer you're on the platform, the more ads they can put in front of you. And that's how they make money, is by putting ads in front of you. And so whenever you're running ads on these platforms, if you were taking them off of Instagram, taking them off of Facebook, taking people to your website, well, then Facebook and Instagram, they can't keep showing more ads to people. So what's awesome about instant form ads, or often referred to as lead ads, you keep people on the platform. It's all native and there's no need to take people off of Instagram or Facebook, and you're able to get connected with them right on the platform. So while the first category is platform, I'm just gonna keep Meta in that category. The next category is your goal. What is your goal with the ads? And the first goal could be to get people to some sort of one-off event your church is doing. My good friend Brady Shear will often talk about how the best events for churches will often be a place where church and culture meet. This could be a trunk or treat, summer kickoff, back to school festival, something like that. While yes, running ads promoting the event can be amazing, typically you're going to have a low conversion rate unless it is a ministry focused event. Some of these ministry first events, while you might get a lower attendance, you can get a way higher conversion rate. Whether it's a ministry focused event or not, the best way to promote these events is with a Facebook and Instagram instant form lead ad. One ministry focused event that has worked really well specifically for church planters are what might be called an interest party. This is where you run ads on Facebook and Instagram inviting people to just come to an event where they can learn more about the new church that you're going to be planting. One of the churches we are working with, Pastor Manny Arango with the Garden Church, actually here in Houston, Texas. For their most recent event, they'd spent right around $3,000 on ads, and they had 240 families plan a visit for the event. They had about a 65% show rate, seeing about 150 people show up for the event. And here's an example of an event ad that worked really well for Pastor Manny and the Garden.
Hey, you guys, a new church is coming to Houston, and we are inviting you.
It's called The Garden, a spirit-filled, family-friendly, family-focused, diverse, and life-giving church.
So on May 24th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., we're hosting our very first launch party.
Enjoy free food, great coffee, activities for all ages. Definitely bring the kiddos, and you'll get an opportunity to hear the heart and the vision of our church from me and Tia.
Make sure you bring the kids, your family, your neighbors, your friends, everybody. We want to see you there.
Just don't come alone, and click below to RSVP. We can't wait to meet you.
While event ads are great, it's not like you can have an event every single week at your church. And so the third ad type that we see get great results is a coffee invite ad. We often call this one coffee with the pastor. This is where you'll get your pastoral team to essentially block off time in their calendars and set up essentially a Calendly type calendar where people that are interested in coming to your church can actually schedule a one-on-one meeting over coffee with a pastor from your staff. So they can go grab coffee and just maybe learn more about the church, hear your story before they ever even show up for a Sunday service. Pastor Josh added 78 new families in 1 month of running this ad, and it can work wonders. We've seen this work with a lot of church planters, and it's worked so well over the summer. This is what a lot of churches that we've worked with started running that are already meeting on Sundays, but they started running coffee with the pastor ads just to supplement that summer slump that a lot of churches see. Whenever I first had the idea brought to me, I thought this would never work. Why would some random person want to go grab coffee with some guy to talk about church? Well, it turns out a lot of people would want to go grab coffee with a random guy to talk about church and God and faith. And I think the reason why it works so well is because there are so many people out there that want to grow in their relationship with the Lord. Maybe they drive by your church every single day, but they're ashamed of their past. And maybe they're not even sure what they believe. And they'd be pretty hesitant walking into the front doors of your church, but they would be really likely to go sit down with you or a pastor on your staff and just grab coffee. With these, I typically open with, hey, do you have questions about God, about faith? I'd love to learn your story, answer any questions you have. I'm a local pastor in the area, and grab coffee with you. Here's an example of a coffee with a pastor ad that worked really, really well for one of the churches we work with.
Hey, Ocala, got questions about God, the Bible, or church? You're not alone. Whether you're exploring faith for the first time, thinking about going back to church, or just trying to make sense of this thing we call life. Sometimes you just need a conversation. No preaching, no pressure, just coffee and a chance to talk. Whatever's on your mind. Tap below to schedule a time to grab coffee with Pastor Jay. I'd love to hear your story, answer any questions you have. You know, faith isn't about having it all figured out. It all starts with a conversation.
Events are great, but they're few and far between, and maybe you don't have the staff or the capacity on your own to go grab coffee with a lot of people. This is where plan your visit ads come in place. The fourth best ads for churches are plan your visit ads. This is what we run for almost every single church that works with us here at ChurchCandy. I'll put it to you like this. Recently, I was looking for a new gym. I've been wanting to get in shape, and my sister was telling me about CrossFit. And I started looking at these different CrossFit gyms in my city, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, man, I am not in the best shape as I used to be. I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't know anyone. I wish I could just connect with one of the trainers at the gym before I went. That way I at least knew someone whenever I went to the gym for the first time. And then I immediately thought to myself, oh my goodness, this is what people feel like before they visit a church, right? And so this is where the plan your visit ads come in. It's where you invite people and say, hey, I know it might be intimidating visiting a church. You don't know anyone. That's why if you plan your visit below, we'll connect with you and make sure you feel welcomed on Sunday. And while all of that is great and dandy, where you run the ads and you invite people and they fill out the form, they plan to visit, and you get a notification saying John and Sally plan to visit, it doesn't mean anything if you don't follow up. And that goes for the coffee with the pastor ads and the event ads as well. All the ads we're talking about here are direct response ads where people see an ad and they fill out some sort of form, whether saying they're interested in grabbing coffee or we're going to an event or planning a visit just to your Sunday service. And you can get all the leads in the world. You can get all of the names and phone numbers and emails in the world, but it doesn't mean anything if those people are not showing up to church on Sunday. So if you compare any of these last three ad types, event ads, coffee with a pastor, and plan your visit ads with a solid follow-up strategy, you can explode your church with growth. God can use that to connect you with so many people in your city. This strategy is what helps take Pastor Ken's church from just like 120 people to now over 900 members. About a year ago, I sat down with Pastor Ken in this video titled How This Church Grew 150 to 606 Months. Spoiler alert, they have grown to over 900 now. And so definitely go check that interview out, because in this interview, he breaks down their true secret on how they grew. And it wasn't anything that ChurchCandy did. Their secret was just intentional follow-up. See, Pastor Ken, we ran the same ads for him as we did at so many other churches, but they saw explosive growth. Why? I think two reasons. Number one, just favor from the Lord. I believe that Pastor Ken has just a special anointing. God is just truly blessed their church. And I think two, they have done such an incredible job at following up with every single person that plans a visit. So much so they expect around 80% of people that plan a visit actually show up every single Sunday. Essentially what they have done is built a concierge team that's just a group of volunteers. Think of it as like a digital host team that whenever someone plans a visit, someone from that team is in charge of following up with them. And we'll get on the phone, text back and forth with them, and just try to connect with them, make them feel welcomed before they show up for church on Sunday. And these Plan Your Visit ads have helped so many churches. And if you are interested in us setting something up like this for you, you can definitely do so. In fact, if you sign up in the month of September, the first 100 churches that sign up, I will personally donate $500 to your church to help cover the cost of ads. It's just limited to the first 100 churches that sign up. So you can go to churchcandy.com or the first link in the description down below and schedule a call with our team and learn more about that and see if it'd be a good fit for your church. And so those are the 3 goals for ads that we have seen work the best, whether it's getting people to events, one-on-one coffee meetings, or just coming to your church overall. But now let's talk about who are we showing these ads to. Next section is going to be all about targeting. Who are you actually showing these ads to? So number 5 would be cold ads. These are showing ads to people that specifically have never seen your church before. They don't know you, they don't know who you are. And so the best strategy here is to drop a pin on your church in Meta Ads Manager. And then what you want to do is set a radius between 5 to 10 miles. Now, if you are in a more rural area, you can expand that. I wouldn't expand anything more than 20 to 30 miles. You want to think, what is the average that someone would drive to my church? I will sometimes ask pastors that, and they'll be like, dude, we got people that drive an hour. That's great. I love that you have one family that drives an hour to come to church. Most people will not drive an hour to come to your church. I'm sure you guys are great. I know God's doing amazing things, but for the most part, try to be a little bit more conservative with that and keep it between 5 to 10 miles. And if you were in a really highly populated area, you can go down a little bit further, but I've found that if you go any smaller than a 5-mile radius, a lot of the times your ad cost will get higher. And for my church, we had found that most people that went to our church were between the ages of 25 and 55. And so that is the age range that we set for our church. Now, I'm gonna be honest, it worked for us. And so when I started helping other churches run their ads too, that's just kind of the age range that we went in with, was 25 to 55. 25, they're out of college, they're getting into their professional careers, they're looking for a community of people to do life with. It's not that we didn't have people over the age of 55 at our church, we just found that most people were under 55. So feel free to play around with this, but the most important thing you want to do here is make sure you turn off the section that says something along the lines of, we'll show this ad to more people if it's likely to improve performance. That's basically Meta's way of saying, hey, I know you only want to show your ad to people in your city, but there's people in other parts of the country that people aren't advertising to. And so we want to show your ads to them, even though it's not relevant, because no one else is paying for those eyeballs. You want to uncheck that box. We only want to pay for eyeballs for people that live in our city. One of my friends, John Rush, called out Mosaic Church in LA because he kept getting ads from their church promoting their Studio City campus launch. And he was saying, this is why churches don't need to run ads, da 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 da. And someone commented like, oh, ChurchCandy's shaking in their boots. And he's like, no, we love ChurchCandy. ChurchCandy's awesome. Well, Mosaic ended up seeing that. And we actually had Pastor Erwin McManus come to ChurchCandy's staff retreat. And we ended up starting the process of working with them in that. With all that being said, if a large church like Mosaic will end up running ads to people that do not live anywhere near their church campuses. Don't think that you were immune from this. They are a large church with a budget that is probably way bigger than yours, and they still made this mistake. So don't feel like you won't accidentally make the mistake as well. And then the second type of targeting that works really well, number 6, is going to be retargeting. This is where you're showing ads to people that are already somewhat familiar with your church. This is like whenever you go to Amazon and you're looking for a new iPad case, and then you go to Instagram and you start seeing ads for this iPad case on Instagram. Well, see, Amazon knows that you are already interested in that iPad case, so they are going to show you ads trying to get you to buy that iPad case, right? And you can do that exact same thing for your church by showing ads to people that have already been to your church's website, that have watched your live stream on Facebook, that have engaged with you on Instagram. Here's some of the basic things you need to do to be able to set this up. The first thing would be to add the Meta Pixel helper on your church's website. This is what allows you to show ads to people that have already been looking at your church's website. The second thing that you want to do is build out custom audiences of people that have been watching your church's videos, that have been engaging with you on Instagram. And then when you run ads, you can specifically target those custom audiences, inviting them to plan a visit to your church or come to your event or grab coffee. Paul even says in 1 Corinthians 3:6-7, it says, I planted the seed, Apollos watered it, but God has made it grow. So neither the one who plants nor the one who waters is anything, but only God makes things grow. Here's the thing. I've had people come up to me at church and they would say things like, Pastor Brady, I knew God was calling me here because every time I turned around on Instagram, I just kept seeing you. And I used to take pride in that, thinking like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. The ads are working. And that kind of got convicted. It's like, no, it's not just that the ads are working. It's not anything that I do. It is God working through social media and Holy Spirit working through those ads in that person's life, right? We just planted the seeds. And when you run these retargeting ads, that's just watering it. And then we're just waiting on God to take that next step. So cold ads and retargeting ads are the two types of targeting that we've seen work the best. Now let's talk about the actual ads themselves. What are the actual videos and images that people are seeing on Facebook and Instagram? I think number 7 is my favorite. It is something that I told my team last month, that we need to drop everything and make sure that every single church that we're running ads for is running this ad. This brings us to our final section, creative. This is all about the actual images and videos that people see on Facebook and Instagram. I just did a full breakdown on this strategy, so I'm not gonna go into too much depth here, but basically the way it works is you record a video inviting people to church, but you have 3 different intros in that invite video. Now you wanna make sure that you record the video vertically like this, not horizontally. And when you do this, you have 3 different intros, maybe one just mentioning the city, one asking like, hey, are you looking for a church? And then one that talks about community and like how doing life alone is no fun, right? So you have 3 different topics for the intro, the hook that gets someone to stop scrolling. And why it's good to have B-roll is because it'll make it easier in post and editing to actually throw it together in an ad and not have it too choppy. And the B-roll can just be something that you film on your phone that shows the life of the church, people engaging in the lobby, the worship team, etc. Pastor Ken Bennett with Connect Church in Plano that I talked about earlier, they spent $240 on this ad and they had 48 families plan a visit, and about 80% of those actually showed up for church on Sunday. Here's an example of what his ad looked like.
Hey, Plano area, doing life alone is no fun. I want to invite you to join us at Connect Church right here in Plano, Texas. We have 3 identical service times, 8:25, 9:55, and 11:55 a.m. every single Sunday. Connect Church is a place where you can belong before you believe. And every Sunday you'll find uplifting worship, a practical message, and a community that feels like family. We've also got an amazing kids ministry that's safe, that's fun, but most of all, it's clean. And I'm certain that after they experience it, they're going to want to come back. And so do me a favor, click the link below, schedule your service time with us, and we'd love to reach out to you, explain what your experience will be like when you attend. I'm certain you won't regret it. I want you to know we're praying for you and your family. Hope to see you soon.
And then Pastor Bryce, they'd spent $333 in 2 weeks of running the ad. They had 16 families plan a visit for about $20 a piece, and they saw 22 new guests from these ads. Here's what it looked like.
Hey, Woodstock, Cherokee County. Doing life alone is no fun at all. That's why at Jubilee Church, we're all about community. I want to invite you to Jubilee Church in Woodstock, Georgia, 10:30 every single Sunday, where we'll have uplifting worship, an encouraging message, and community that just feels like family. We also offer kids ministry that is clean, safe, and so much fun. Your kids are going to be asking to come back. If you're nervous about visiting a church where you don't know anyone, please plan your visit below. We'll reach out to you before Sunday. We'll show you around when you arrive and make sure the whole family feels welcome. Please plan your visit below, and we hope to see you soon.
Now, if you're watching this and your church already works with ChurchCandy, just email your account manager. We'll actually edit all these videos for you, no additional cost. The video editing is free, included in the program. So number 7, invite videos with some B-roll. Having those multiple hooks allows you to split test and see what is getting the best results. And then once you see what intro or hook is getting you the best results, then you can double down on that and just re-record 3 more intros that were just like that. You don't need to record the rest of the video, leave that the same. Record 3 more intros that are very, very similar to the winner, and then put more ad spend behind those. Now, this next ad strategy, I have a love-hate relationship. This is one of the things that we have built ChurchCandy on, and we have done this for hundreds, if not 1,000 churches now. And so the number 8, the ad is collage images. Now, this is where you get 5 to 6 images that show what it's like to experience a Sunday service at your church. Now, specifically, you want the placement for this to be on Facebook feeds. Why? Well, because what you'll do is you want to arrange the collage in a way that at first glance, it looks like your church uploaded an album. The way Facebook's UI will automatically place the images like this. If you wanted to get really cheeky, you could even add a little +3 down at the bottom corner and then blur the background to make it genuinely look like a album was posted. Now, the reason why this ad works so well is because it doesn't look like an ad. It has a really high click-through rate, and because of that, you get really low CPMs. The con is you typically will have a pretty low show rate if these are the only ads you run. It's one of those high quantity but sometimes low quality ads, unless you are just absolutely crushing it on the follow-up side. Me personally, it kind of feels a little disingenuous because you're almost tricking people to click on the ad. The thing is, it just works so well. And I personally know people who gave their life to the Lord, turned their life around. God has done amazing things in their life. God has restored their marriage, and they found the church from this collage image ad. So I've told my team, let's try to get away from it. If it just like absolutely crushes it for a church and they're fine running it, awesome, let's run it. But I would prefer us not to just solely rely on this collage image for the ads. And a good alternative to the collage image ads would be a carousel ad. This is where you would just have a swipeable ad where people can swipe through and look at individual images almost in a carousel. Again, these would show pictures that show the life of your church, and I actually put together a full shot list. If you want to check it out, it's just churchcandy.com/shot list. I'll put a link down in the description as well for that if you want to check it out. But really, you just want to show what it's like to visit your church on a Sunday. Show someone speaking from the stage, the worship team, the band and singers, people engaging in worship or lifting their hands, praying, people interacting in the lobby, kids ministry. People can literally just swipe through and see what it's like to experience your church's Sunday service. And the last but not least ad type that works really well are trends. See, any kind of trending Instagram reel or post that you would post on Instagram, you can also use as an ad. Now, these will work really well, but typically just for a short period of time. There's not a lot of longevity in it compared to something like the image ads or the invite ads with B-roll. Let's say Christian Life Austin. Here's some ads that they were running, and they performed really well. They spent just over $2,000 on these ads, had 172 families plan a visit for about $13 a piece. And they're a larger church. I don't have the exact data on how many people showed up other than their team saying, we've been getting a ton of new guests. The ads are working, which is great to know. But the problem again with these types of ads, while they work really well, it's only typically for a short period of time. They die off and experience ad fatigue quicker than some of these different ad strategies. If you want me and my team at ChurchCandy to set some of these ads up for you in your church, you can go to churchcandy.com or hit the link down below in the description. And if you sign up for ChurchCandy before the end of September and you're one of the first 100 people to sign up, I will personally donate $500 to your church to help cover the cost of the first month of running ads. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and we'll see you in the next one.